LNS is here for you with 6 News at 6.
Ingham County is experiencing the worst COVID-19 surge since the start of the pandemic. It is our top story tonight at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones.
And I'm Lauren Thompson. COVID hospitalizations and deaths are on the rise. That's according to the Ingham County Health Department.
ICUs are filled with patients, and the amount of people on ventilators is reaching back up to the county's last surge in April.
Sarah Alshat is here for you now to break down these numbers. And Sarah, where are most of these cases found?
Sherry and Lauren, rural areas have the highest rates of COVID-19, according to the Ingham County Health Department. That's a trend being seen across the country, and Ingham County is no exception. Now, the Health Department is reporting 1,136 cases from this past week. 34 people are in the ICU. Health officials say that's a lot compared to during other surges. 30 to 39-year-olds have the highest case rate right now. Regarding vaccinations, nearly 29% of 5 to 11-year-olds have gotten their vaccine. The Health Department says Ingham County is one of the top counties in the state with that percentage of young children vaccinated. Health Officer Linda Bale says there are a lot of reasons behind this surge in cases, one of the main ones being the unvaccinated.
We're going through a challenging period of time right now in terms of surges in cases, and there are lots of reasons for it, including, unvaccinated networks where, Delta is highly contagious and those unvaccinated networks are driving a lot of infections amongst themselves. We've had breakthrough cases as well.
Bale says people need to start accepting that this is probably a 3-dose vaccine, stressing that more people should get their booster shots to protect them against the virus. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Sarah. Well, this is just in tonight. There's been an agreement at our state capitol to invest federal COVID dollars into the state of Michigan. Governor Gretchen Whitmer released a statement within the last half hour confirming that $1 billion is headed to Michigan families, communities, schools, and small businesses. She says, quote, "Today we took another big step forward in finding common ground and agreement on how to spend some of those federal resources, including resources to help kids be safe and learning in schools, protecting seniors in nursing homes, and to get vaccines out the door even faster."
Switching gears now, Lansing police have arrested a suspect in the murder of a 17-year-old.
Well, the girl was shot in the early morning hours last Friday on Cedar Street at Miller Road. To take a look, you're looking at Lemmy Edward Jones, actually. Police arrested him yesterday. Jones is accused of killing 17-year-old Ariana Dela Cruz. Police say he also shot an 18-year-old woman and a 16-year-old boy. A 10-week-old baby also suffered serious injuries during that incident. Jones is charged with homicide and 6 other charges. Well, in an effort to combat the recent violence here in Lansing, tonight the Everett High School cafeteria will be filled with parents, teachers, students, and school officials.
And now this is the first part of a new series they're doing called Anti-Violence Community Conversations. The conversation begins at 6:30 tonight and will last until 8 p.m. 6 News will be there, and we'll have more for you tonight on 6 News at 11. Well, some news now with the Lansing City Police Department.
Interim Police Chief Ellery Sosebee may soon be able to remove interim from his title. Mayor Andy Shore announced today that he's chosen Sosebee to be the city's new permanent chief. But he's been serving as interim chief since June, when former Chief Daryl Green stepped down. Mayor Shore says Sosebee has 22 years of experience and spent 19 of that at the Lansing Police Department, so this is a no-brainer.
Ellery Sosebee, certainly, he came up here in the police department. He's been here many years. He knows the city. He knows the culture. He knows the issues. He knows what's been going on. He knows the troops. He'll bring a great leadership style that I think he has already hit the ground running. When you have 2 great candidates and one of them has been here and knows and wants to continue to serve here in Lansing, he was the choice.
Well, even though Shore has made the recommendation, this move is not official until the Lansing Police Board of Commissioners approves it. Well, meanwhile, in Rio Town, officials with the Board of Water and Light called a special meeting.
It started less than an hour ago at 5:30, and the subject of the meeting has to do with what would be a rather large project that could be coming to the Mid-Michigan area.
6 News reporter Tony Garcia is live. He's here for you from the BWL headquarters. Tony, what can you tell us tonight?
Yeah, good evening, Sherry, Lauren. We just spent the past 30 minutes or so inside these headquarters, as you mentioned, and it's official. The board gave the unanimous approval for the BWL general manager to extend a large manufacturing contract for a company that could be coming to the area. Now, per a non-disclosure agreement, BWL officials were not allowed to name that company, but as you may well have heard by now, Lansing City Council unanimously approved a proposal last night that would allow GM to build an electric battery plant in Delta Township. The move has been seen as GM doubling down on the Lansing area, with this being just the third electric plant in the country. And as for BWL's involvement, they say this project is big time.
This is our trend, our generation's trend, to continue on the tradition that they started. And I'd like to think that maybe 15, 20 years from now, somebody who knows, it won't be me for sure, but maybe a lot of you will still be around, and that someone will build on our shoulders.
BWL says that it would be a $936 million incentive is what they would offer GM to come to the area. However, that would not mean an increase in rates and customers. They said this would be a $2.5 billion investment in the area and could bring 1,700 jobs. That's why this could mean a lot long term. Here for you live in Lansing, Tony Garcia, 6 News.
Well, thank you, Tony. The Mid-Michigan region is about to get an early holiday gift from the state legislature today as it prepares to approve a $1 billion economic stimulus package.
And this could be used to help nail down that proposed GM electric battery plant in Delta Township. Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic is here for you now with more on this.
Economic and political shockwaves engulfed this town in late September when the governor and the Republican legislature discovered for the first time that Ford was building new auto battery plants not in Michigan but in Kentucky and Tennessee. This Republican senator was livid that Michigan did not even know this was going on.
We keep talking about being number one in EVs and autonomous vehicles, and then we keep losing big deals over and over and over again.
Now, some 70 days later, the governor and Republican legislature are doing something about it, getting Michigan back in the game with the approval of a $1 billion economic stimulus package that could be used to nail down Michigan's own electric car battery factory, thanks to General Motors, which is poised to seal the deal in the wake of this new state tax credit program, which, according to the Mackinac Center, doesn't work.
The spending that they're going to make on these companies is unfair for the companies. Don't get them, expensive to the state budget, and ineffective at creating jobs. The research literature on this is clear. It doesn't work.
Oh, yes, it does, claims the mayor of Lansing. And Governor Whitmer agrees, as she wants to recapture the economic and political ground that she lost when the Ford plants went elsewhere. The state business community is all in on this, making this point. Either Michigan offers these credits or it could lose this GM facility and other jobs.
What's the ramifications if Michigan doesn't compete?
We'll continue to lose folks that are trying to move us from the internal combustion engine to an electric vehicle.
Mr. Welsh argues his colleagues in other states are poised to work Michigan